Well, that's a big question, and it deserves a complete answer. The United States stands with allies. It stands with our friends. We have President Trump, who's exercised his might in the fight against the Houthis, which is strictly a proxy surrogate specifically for Iran. We are now in negotiations with Iran regarding Kurdistan. We see this opportunity for Kurdistan to leap forward with its energy production. It is high time and has been too long that the United States has seen Iraq falter under the pressure of Iran, the coercion of Iran, and those illegitimate agencies that are promoting the Iranian model, making Iraq itself as a proxy. I see, and I believe the United States obviously now sees, that the only way we can see forward in Kurdistan is a way in which we see a way forward in Baghdad. And until Baghdad cleans house and removes those nefarious elements of Iran and brings under control the popular mobilization forces, we must push for Iraq as well as Kurdistan to move forward with the United States. This is a pivotal moment in history for Iraq and for the Middle East. Iraq can either come along with the Gulf states or it can continue to falter with the consequences that we've seen in the Yemen. With those consequences in Yemen, if they stay allegiant to Iran. And we don't question the legitimacy of the government, but we question the allegiance to the people of Iraq in comparison to Iran's wishes. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we have to go and see Iraq move forward with the United States. It's so important. And how we do that is through constitutional framework that's already existing in the Iraqi Constitution, which is Article 65, for the Federation Council to be erected and to be substantial as an equal in the parliament, so that in turn these disputes stop occurring. We have to have that. So these meetings are critical. These meetings will forge the future between the United States and the people within Erbil. It's also going to have an overarching effect between the United States and Iraq overall. But this is what is required. The United States under President Trump, Marco Rubio, and Pete Hegseth, but especially Marco Rubio and the president, will forge a path forward for Kurdistan, especially because we have always seen Kurdistan as our, and the people, the most important aspect, the people of Kurdistan, as being allied with the United States, and at every juncture, Kurdistan has stood with the United States regarding and regardless of the administration. Regardless of the administration, Kurdistan has always been with the United States. And we're speaking of the semi-autonomous Republic of Kurdistan, your great prime minister and your president. They see the United States as a true ally. And that's what we see in Kurdistan. And I know that my words, although not official, speak in the same vein. And this is the reason why we have your delegation in Washington. Well, first, the reaction by Baghdad is unrealistic and it's detrimental And as an expression we use in the United States, it's cutting off your nose to spite your face. And this is exactly what they're doing. And it has to be to the majority due to the fact that those nefarious forces that push the leadership in Baghdad, as well as the ministers in Baghdad, they are under great duress. I don't doubt that. But they need to now, with a great president who's willing to stand with Baghdad as well as Erbil, back down and bring the United States in completely so that in turn, Iran no longer creates an Iraq that's strictly a puppet for the Iranian government, siphoning off all of the financial benefit as well as the electrical benefit. The people of Iraq, I've been there, we know this. We have blackouts, we have brownouts, we have periods of time when businesses have to shut down. How can you have productivity if a business has to shut down because you don't have electricity? We're talking about over 15 years where reconstruction could have occurred. That reconstruction could have created a country replete with electrical energy using your flare gas as well as the gas that's coming off right now. And instead, it's not being utilized. It's preposterous what's going on. In regards to the concern of Kurdistan becoming more strong and Baghdad creating or being concerned that Kurdistan is becoming more and more independent under a state proposition of a federation of a republic, then the country of Baghdad, that's based in Baghdad, that federal government, utilizing the Federation Council, could easily make sure that the whole entire region, but each and every province within Kurdistan, has a fair shake, and no state in the United States has ever wanted to leave because of the rights the states possess. And that right is first and foremost in our U.S. Senate. And it's time to erect a 3-member Senate from each and every province. I'm perfectly able to come to Iraq, sit down with the prime minister within Kurdistan and in Iraq, and I put my services into their hands if they want me. I would be very happy to sit down and make sure we hash this out and finally bring about what is demanded by your Constitution, and that's a Federation Council. It's exactly what you would expect when you have a president and an Erbil government that are aligned with one another, and culturally, ethically, we need to see this relationship blossom. We need to see this relationship where based on socioeconomic, based on economy, based on security, that this relationship flourish, because when Kurdistan flourishes, the United States interests flourish. And it pushes forth, although something that might not be appreciated in Baghdad, a great opportunity for an expansion of the Abraham Accords. And we need to push this so that we can have peace and tranquility, because in the state of war, there is no tranquility, there is no economy, there is only chaos and destruction, and we need to move forward with peace and coexistence between all of those elements, including minorities, and the rights of those minorities, as well as the power of those majorities, to be able to have a flourishing Iraq and in turn, a flourishing Kurdistan. These are the premises upon which this set of meetings, these meetings here in Washington, are being pushed forth and must continue, and then action. You can't just have words. You have to have action, including contracts, including U.S. position in that region, so that you are not undermined, you are not humiliated, you are not coerced. And that's the biggest element. Iran is on its way out as it stands currently. Iraq can move forward when they break the ties with Iran. Otherwise, those consequences, especially against the popular mobilization forces, are going to be hell to pay. So we have to see security within Iraq.